Hey guys, welcome to the Beginner's Mind podcast where everyone is a beginner. My name is Marcus Kongman. Today we have a very special guest, one of my co-coaches, one of our co-coaches in F45. So we've known each other for a long time also. Mr. Thomas Pua, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, and thank you very much for having me here.
Before we start, I'd like to mention all of his certifications, just so for the viewers can really know what Mr. Thomas has studied, throughout the years. So, firstly, he's an FRC licensed kin stretch instructor, FRC mobility specialist, master functional trainer, KSKA certified performance coach, kettlebell strength and conditioning coach, MT2 blade practitioner, myo stretch therapist, and a registered psychometrician. So actually that's 1/5 of your
about 1/5 of
about 1/5 of his certifications. But it just shows you know what Thomas has been studying for the past few years. So if ever you're interested in learning about mobility or about fitness, these certifications are a proof that he is really eligible, and the knowledge that he gives is really helpful for the clients.
I try my best.
Of course. So, how are you, Miss?
I'm pretty good. I'm actually doing very well right now, with a lot of my own training as well, and with being in the industry of fitness. It's quite a ride, really. You get a lot of different kinds of people with different kinds of fitness levels, and you have to really gauge them, not just physically but also mentally.
Yeah,
sometimes emotion would also come in, and you really gotta know how to assess them in all aspects. So
yeah, because I think also in fitness that's really a big factor when it comes to training your clients. Because sometimes what people think that there's just a general, general strategy when it comes to, coaching your clients. Well, with what you mentioned, there's the mental aspect, there's the physical aspect, and the whole demographic, age, sex, right?
There's really no one size fits all kind of coaching.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own learning curve. Everyone has their own understanding. Sometimes you would benefit, the client would benefit from telling them what to do, and the other times it's just showing them. Sometimes you even have to tell them oh, this area will feel pain.
Yeah, that's true.
This area will have to contract. And that area will have to move or something like that.
Yeah, that's true. So right now we're gonna discuss, as you've heard of all of his certifications, we're gonna discuss mobility and fitness and all other aspects of fitness. So before you've attained all of these certifications, how did you start your fitness journey? How did you start becoming a coach and all that?
I think it started with the regular, how everybody starts in their fitness, or
Which is
a lot of the times people start in their fitness by going to a gym.
Yeah.
And it's a conventional gym where bodybuilders are going there, and then that's how I started with progressive resistance training.
Yeah.
So it's more on bodybuilding, less on weight loss, and it's not very specific, really.
But what was your thought process like? How old were you when you started? For example, for me, when I started, going out, working out, initially my thought process was okay, let's, seeing all these movie stars who have really good, nice muscles. So, as a young guy, how old was I? Maybe 18 years old. Or, I was inspired by that. And of course, as a guy, you want to look muscular, you want to be strong. So at that age, I was already feeling okay, you gotta start working out and
you gotta look nice.
And I was an athlete also back then during playing football. So, I felt like I needed to get a bit bigger because naturally I'm really a thin guy.
Yeah.
So what was your thought process?
I guess mine was basically my parents.
Your parents.
So my mom is a runner, and my dad is a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And then I'm not sure why, but both my sisters are a little unhealthy.
Yeah.
And
Sisters.
I'm the one guy that is I'm the one guy that has all the healthy genes. Like you don't get sick for more than a year.
Yeah.
Maybe you get sick once, and then you heal up pretty fast. So
Yeah.
I was thinking it's like, oh, I have healthy genes,
Mm-mm.
but I'm also eating a party-sized pizza
Yeah.
in one sitting. So I'm like, I felt guilty at first.
Yeah.
So that's why I went to a gym, and then it's like, oh, maybe I'll start off here and
Yeah.
we'll see where this one goes.
But naturally, were you a thin guy or were you a lanky
No, I
guy?
was like just so and so. Like I was never really thin. I was never really that fat.
Mm-mm.
So like I don't know. I think people call it like you're mesomorphic.
Yeah.
So I'm that. Like
Yeah.
I don't get thin too fast. I don't get fat too fast. But
Yeah.
if ever I'm in a certain like weight, I stay there for a very long time, no matter
Yeah.
how much like I would.
Sure, endomorph.
Or, yeah, like not really. Like
Not
I'm
really. Just
meso. It's basically mesomorphic. Endomorphic is like it's a hard. You have a hard time like losing weight. I'm not sure if it's like the amount of fat cells that you have in the body.
Yeah.
Because that's basically what you have. Like you have a set amount of fat cells in your body, and then that's the one thing that you get like all your life.
So, do you think like as a beginner, like who starts out doing fitness, like does that really matter? Like, what type of body type? Because before I noticed when I was learning and
Yeah.
I do research on that, like, oh, I'm an ectomorph, so I gotta eat 3,000 calories, and I gotta lift more heavy weights. So sometimes, like as a beginner, I tend to be close-minded.
Uh-huh.
Just because I'm an ectomorph, I can't do this.
Yeah.
So sometimes, when I was a beginner, I really focused on just doing, certain types of exercises.
Yeah.
So is that really a big factor for you?
No, not really. It wasn't, because I was more into I don't really care. I just want to come here.
That's
Like I'm not even doing like all the proper form and whatnot. I just see it somewhere. It's like, oh, he's doing a chest press like this.
Yeah,
I'm probably gonna do a chest press like that because he has a nice chest.
Yeah.
Like,
Same.
right?
Go with that.
So
Kuya, unsa kay to ang
basically,
exercise?
like, what do I do for
Yeah.
bicep? Like bigger biceps. What do I do for this?
You gotta get those guns. Man.
Yeah. But one of the best advice I was ever given was just come here.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
just be consistent enough, and then you'll learn things along the way. And just don't close yourself off with any kind of fitness, and because you're still starting off, and it might not. The first one might not be for you. You might find something else. Like you might find different kinds of fitness lifestyle than this one. So basically, that was why it wasn't important to me. Like what kind of body I had.
Yeah.
Just move.
Just move. I think it really depends on the person. Right?
Yeah, it really does.
Sometimes they have different mindsets coming into the gym or starting their
Yeah.
fitness journey. Yours was because you wanted to move. Mine was because I wanted to get bigger. So it really depends. Sometimes, athletes want to get more cardio.
I think what helped me get that kind of mindset as well was there wasn't so much information available.
Yeah, that's true. Unlike now.
Yeah, I didn't have. I can't believe I'm saying this. My internet was still
Wait, what year was this?
2015.
Okay.
So my internet was still dial-up, like the oldest kind of dial-up. I know probably some of the viewers was like, what? Like there's dial-up in 2015? Yes, there was. So I didn't have like that much. Like I didn't have like all the information coming in from YouTube and whatnot. And so I was left with, I'm just gonna go there, probably gonna learn something if somebody was there. If not, then I'm just gonna do what I know.
Yeah.
Until like, somebody comes along and I'm like, how do I do that?
Yeah, that's true. But
right now though, it's like you got everything online. Like
everything.
You have what you have YouTube, you have TikTok, you have like even now it's getting more because you got like
podcasts also now.
No, the worst one is ChatGPT. You get AIs to make your own workout,
Yeah, that's
get
true.
your nutrition on. So So you have all of that information.
Guys, we do not advise that. Okay, don't go for, if you want to work out, ask a coach. Don't ask ChatGPT.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't advise that either.
Yeah.
Personally though, I don't know with some people. Like some people would say it's like, yeah, you can go for it if you find that like it's too expensive to have a coach. But there are like advantages, disadvantages. Maybe we'll talk about it later.
That's true. But like initially, like also for me when I started, like zero knowledge, just
right?
looking at, Facebook, YouTube, and all that, and in fitness, because there are really gonna be disagreements.
Yeah.
Some people have their own ways.
Yeah.
Of, training their clients or coaching or basically each and everyone or everyone has their own way of coaching or way of exercising.
Yeah.
So in fitness, it really is what term is that? Like, there's not really one right.
Yeah, there's no one perfect kind of
system
or fitness regime.
Yeah.
So you can't say that it's bodybuilding. Bodybuilding has its own like little perks, especially when it comes to growing your muscles, looking nice. Powerlifting is also different, but like you have to differentiate which is sport, which is like a fitness lifestyle.
Yeah. But over the years, what I've noticed is really everything is just
it's all connected.
It's all connected. Everything is connected, and you just have to know your body, understand what is right for you, and just get small things from those different systems, right? So that's what I've learned.
Yeah, like the fitness life is something that you have to enjoy and you have to choose it.
Yeah.
Like if you find like you like CrossFit, go ahead, do CrossFit. If you like yoga, do yoga.
Yeah.
If you want parkour, why not?
Parkour.
You jump from one place to another in the hopes that you don't injure yourself.
Yeah, that's true. But that's really what I've learned like over the years. Fitness is really just a big spectrum and get whatever you can.
Yeah.
But do what fits for you.
Yeah, people also like created systems for it. Like CrossFit is number one.
Yeah,
like
CrossFit
has taken a lot from gymnastics, Olympic weightlifting, all these plethora of different kinds of fitness systems. Functional training even. Like it's also different.
That's true.
HIIT.
Of course, HIIT number one. That's really a big thing right now.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of things that you have to discover. Like especially for the beginners out there, try not to enclose your
mind
with
to one
just
specific thing.
Yeah, you gotta try out.
Yeah,
like I'm pretty sure like gyms out there have free trials. You gotta try it out.
Yeah, try. F45 free trial, CrossFit Subterra free trial.
Yeah.
There's so much gyms here in Cebu. So if you're interested, go out, try it.
Yeah, go out. If you want like calisthenics, go ahead.
Explore everything and see what's best for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
We can say gym places, right? Like it's okay.
Yeah, why?
It's just, I don't know. It's a marketing thing. Marketing legalities. Oh, okay, it's fine.
Because at the end of the day, like for those who are interested in fitness, they have every right. They have the freedom to really explore what they want. Try CrossFit, try F45, try boxing or whatever. Just really explore, guys. That's really my number one.
Yeah, just explore. It's like you'll have fun.
Yeah, you're gonna have fun, right?
And bring a friend.
Yeah, bring a friend.
It would be nice for you to bring a friend so that both of you can
suffer together.
It's basically suffering together. One friend might be taking pictures.
Yeah, that's true.
Laughing
for the
at
viral stuff. Right? So after when you started doing the working out, doing the bodybuilding, how did your how did you evolve, or when did you start? Because I met you in F45. Right?
Yeah, that's
so. From there, like, how did your mind, or how did you evolve from, just starting out, and then when we met in F45?
Basically, what we were talking about, like, explore. After, like, maybe 6 months in bodybuilding, I explored yoga.
Okay.
And then I did yoga for about another 6 months. And then after that, I tried high-intensity type fitness workouts.
F45? No,
not yet. I didn't even get to F45 yet. I did a free trial for Subterra.
Mm-mm.
So CrossFit Subterra. I just did that. It was okay. It was horrible. Like I didn't know I had that little stamina or endurance for something, but it was really challenging. I didn't say that the workout was horrible. Like the place is really good, but like if you don't have that endurance or stamina, then you're just going to tire yourself. I was just
you're
gonna look
burn
like you're
yourself.
dying.
Yeah, you're dying.
And
Then you start seeing stars and all
yeah,
that shit.
basically
And you're
that.
like, oh, I
You
gotta lay
black out.
down. Yeah, put my feet up the ground. So yeah, that's normal.
Yeah, and then I did pound for pound, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, pound
The
for
boxing
pound.
or
No,
the circuit? They have boxing, right?
they have boxing, pound for pound, and then there was another one, CrossFit Pentados. I think that's another one.
That was another one.
In Mango. Basically that, there's a lot of exploration going on. And then I found, and then pandemic hit. That's what happened. Like I was like sedentary for most of the time, trying to survive like online jobs and everything.
Yeah.
I don't like to work out at home, oddly enough, because I have a mindset for that.
Yeah.
Like home is where I'm supposed to be stress-free and relaxed.
True. I don't believe in...
Yeah. Like the nearer you are to a workout place, the more likely you are not to do anything.
Yeah.
So I gotta travel.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's that. And when the pandemic was a little bit more lenient, or like the lockdowns were lenient, F45 was like right there on the map. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I'll try it. And then I tried it. I liked it because it was very different.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was CrossFit as well. And then after, that's basically how I started to become a coach, by like learning from the coach, by just observing. It's like, oh, okay, there's a lot of this, there's a lot of that. Opportunity happened that F45 needed a coach, and then I was
timing.
I was just timing. I was like, I'll submit my resume, and then that's it.
But prior to deciding to become a coach, same as me, I didn't have any...
Yeah, I didn't have any credentials.
I had no background.
No, I had no background. Like, I had no certifications whatsoever.
No certification, guys. But Dr. YouTube is available.
Dr. YouTube.
Right?
Yeah, basically Dr. YouTube. But what I was, a lot of the things that they asked me to study was...
In
F45? Yeah. Was how to cue, like how to instruct people on how to do the exercise, how to do it properly, proper form, and
that's
whatnot.
number one.
But proper form was always in the journey. Like it was, when you're bodybuilding, you gotta do proper form. You gotta do it this way, and you gotta know why you do it this way.
Yeah.
And then yoga was one. Yoga is like really strict on form.
That's true.
Like there's very little compensation for that. Even I would say that even CrossFit has a certain kind of form.
Yeah.
Although like a lot of the times people would say like, oh, CrossFit has no form. Like no, there is a quote form. There is just it's like a sequence that you have to follow.
Yeah.
It's just not like a stable kind of form.
Yeah.
It's like you got to be fluid with it. I mean, if it's no form, then how come everybody's doing it that way? So there has to be some kind of form. Just that a lot of the times people don't like it.
Yeah, that's true.
And so yeah, there's basically a lot. I didn't have certifications back then.
Me, dude, same. But like I found this was actually same for me. Like during the pandemic, we're all locked up in here. Then that's when I really started learning or educating myself, reading some books, listening to some podcasts about fitness, and really I think I've already narrowed down the certain or the specific types of systems that are beneficial for me.
Yeah.
So for example, mobility training or all of that stuff, strength and conditioning, everything. So when did you start, when did you decide like, okay, I'm going to try this mobility? What was your inspiration for, okay, I'm going to specifically focus on mobility. I want to learn mobility a bit more, and I want to teach everyone. So what was your inspiration for that?
We had a certification that was based in Canada. The guy actually came here to the Philippines and to Cebu, and because I needed some kind of education, and it was it was a perfect opportunity to just grab it. I didn't know if I could like get the money for it, but thankfully I did.
Yeah.
And then that's when I first started looking into form. It's always like form first. Like you gotta do this and do that. And the term like functional came in.
Yeah.
Basically that. Like you have your functional 45, you have your functional training, and looking more into it because I got confused a lot. Like how is this functional? Why is it used as that term? Like, how come sandbag deadlift is quote unquote a functional training?
Yeah.
Until the instructor said, like, you train here, anything out there outside the gym becomes easier. So it's not like you're gonna be in perfect form when you lift a box, but you are going to compensate. It's just that you compensate lesser this time because you had proper form in the gym. So that's why you can call it like a functional training. So you train more different muscle groups, and so that you can transfer all that sort of like muscle memory into your everyday life where a lot of accidents happen.
Like, what are some of the examples that, let's say, for example, like, what are some of the day-to-day activities that
Walking up and down the stairs.
Walking up and down
So
the
you got
stairs.
like step ups on it.
Yeah. What else? Like picking up grocery bags.
Yeah, picking up grocery bags, putting up things on top of the shelf.
Yeah, that's true.
Carrying your girlfriend. That's probably. I'm pretty sure, right? Like you gotta carry your girlfriend if she's small
tired.
enough.
Yeah,
if she's
true.
tired,
You know?
yeah, put her down in the
carry on.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta do that, and you got a bicep curl.
No, yeah, at least
Right?
like we work out, so we're like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I can carry you, right?
I mean, for a mother, okay. So
that's
basically,
true.
one example is a bicep curl is functional
Yeah.
if what she does at home requires a lot of bicep movement.
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, for a mother, you're doing a bicep curl so that at home she can carry her baby.
Yeah, easy.
Like easily carry her baby. So that's how you can probably say it's functional. If it's functional for you, if you do something a lot of the time at home or outside the gym.
Yeah, that's
so true. Some people might not see bicep curls as functional, and that is also true.
Yeah.
Because you might not be doing a lot of
bicep
activities that requires your biceps. So I don't know, maybe you do a lot of swimming and you gotta get out of the pool, so you gotta do your tricep
dips,
pull down and dips.
Yeah,
and
dips, all that.
So that's how we can define
functionality.
And then from there, it's like, I wouldn't say hierarchy though, but prerequisites. I think I would say prerequisites before you do a certain exercise, because a lot of the times they would focus more on the exercise when it was during that time in the certification time. They would say like, we gotta, before you can do this exercise, are you stable enough?
Yeah.
And are your joints mobile enough? So there's a lot of prerequisites, and they emphasize a lot on stability and mobility.
Yeah.
So that's when.
That's when.
That's when I was like, okay, that's interesting, mobility, and what are the exercises for mobility? And that's something I did not know.
Yeah.
Until I was looking at one of our co-coaches, Hans.
Mm-mm.
He was doing a very weird exercise I didn't know.
Which was?
It was called a shoulder car, or a shoulder controlled articulate rotation. It was very weird, very slow, but he was screaming in pain for some reason after one rotation. And then I asked him about it, and I'm like, I'll follow this guy. And then I'm like, okay. And then I saw the term there, and then that's when I found the website, basically functional anatomy seminars. And that's where you can get like your certifications for mobility. I looked into it a lot more, and I found that it was very recent.
Yeah.
And it's very different from what we all know about mobility. Because a lot of the times mobility is misunderstood.
Yeah.
So you got people who say, "Oh, it's just moving."
Yeah. Wait,
Like, no.
let me stop you there.
Yeah, okay.
What is mobility? What are these
Right.
We haven't even discussed that, for our viewers.
Right.
If they don't know what is mobility training. So let's discuss that to the viewers.
Yeah.
What is mobility?
So mobility is your ability to get to actively get into a range of motion. So everybody has a certain range.
Yeah.
Like say for when you're putting your hand over your head.
Yeah.
So some people can put their hand really over the head like 90 degrees, but some people would not be able to do that. They would sort of be stuck around 70, 80 degrees,
Yeah.
somewhere there. Your ability to get to that end range, that's your mobility.
Yeah.
Your flexibility is, say, for example, you've gotten to your end range, which is 90 degrees, and you can't move any further. Your flexibility then is when something else pushes you.
So it's an external force.
Yeah, it's an external force. So that's how you define flexibility. It's your getting into a range of motion through external forces. It could be anything from gravity to...
Basically, mobility is just
you getting there. Yeah.
But once you're, for example, or in this shoulder position,
yeah,
I can't move it anymore. So that's when I use
external force to probably increase flexibility, but not increase mobility. Mobility has something else, like entirely. Like one, there's a lot of different misconceptions about mobility.
Okay, we'll talk about that later. It's here in the questions.
Right.
And then after that, so now you guys know what mobility is, and why do you think it is such an important factor when it comes to fitness or when it comes to training? What is the importance of mobility? Like, how can it benefit us as practitioners, or for just anyone who is a regular, gym goer? Or
so basically the general population.
General population. What is the benefit of mobility, and what can they learn from that?
Oh, there's a lot. Well, for one thing, mobility is something that you actually lose if you don't use it. So that's where the term is, or like there's a quote that says, "You don't use it, you lose it."
Yeah, that's
right.
True.
So because when we were kids, we're probably able to split.
Yeah, wait. Like I was gonna ask that. Like, how
you've probably seen pictures of yourself when you were a child.
Why is it like that? Like, let's say for example, like me when I was still like a kid, or I'm pretty sure everyone has this, but when we were kids, like, felt a bit much looser. Like I could hang and all this type of stuff. But as you get older, you're like, oh shit, like I can't even like do this anymore. Like it hurts my shoulder. So what is there any explanation to that?
Well, I'm not an expert at it, but the general thing is as you grow more muscle, you grow more tissue, and you do get like certain kind of restrictions.
Yeah.
Either normally or abnormally. Sometimes there's like abnormal growth and you can't sort of like move in a certain way. But when your muscles sort of like reach some kind of maturity, you then restrict your movement.
Yeah, true.
And the environment as well restricts your movement. Like your mom's gonna say, like, don't climb that tree. Don't go under that. Don't hang on that bar. You're gonna hurt yourself. Try not to do this. Try not to do that. So you might not even be a mobile person. Like not a mobile person, but you might not be an active person, right? Like you might be down in the books.
So do you think there's a difference? Like let's say, active kid versus non-active,
like a sedentary kid. There's a big difference. Yeah, there's a really big difference. Like in especially when it comes to the development
stages, right?
Yeah, developmental stages, and the active kid gets injured. Let's put it at that. So the active kid gets injured, goes to the hospital, gets rehab, and then later on is back to normal. Now that kid, depending on that injury, if it's not too severe, will get a lot stronger.
Yeah.
Unlike the non-active kid who
just doesn't do anything.
it's probably not going to get stronger. I mean, if he's probably going to eat, but like, is not that area is not going to be, or like certain parts of his body is not going to be stronger. Like especially what hips and because there has to be some kind of muscle development as you grow old. Because if you're sedentary, then you're just not using muscle, and then all of that thing that you eat, you're just gonna turn into fat, sugar and fat.
Especially right now in the modern age, like I notice most of the kids are just on the tablet.
Yeah, like tablet
But
children.
which is I understand, guys. Like nothing personal, but really like as a kid before, no tablets.
Go out
in the world, run around. I really remember like I'd go out like let's say afternoon, 4 p.m. come back 6 p.m. looking like shit, and my face was so dirty and all that. So really,
really you gotta be an active kid. Like I would suggest that children right now would be active, because a lot of times there are certain conditions and diseases that are associated to being a tablet child.
Yeah.
Like for one is your forward head.
Because
you're gonna hunch down just to look at it. Your eyes.
Yeah.
Basically, it really is going to destroy your eyes. And one thing was that costochondritis. It's like an inflammation in between the ribs, and then it's painful, man.
It's caused by
there's an increase of that now because of a lot of people like hunching down a lot, constricting the area around the rib cage. So there's that. But again, like when you're a child, you gotta move. You gotta go into your different ranges of motion.
Yeah, I always tell myself like, dude, when I have a kid, like I'm gonna let them try all the sports.
Just let them be a cave child. Don't give them technology.
Yeah, no technology.
You will hunt for your own food.
But yeah, that's true.
Just be feral about it when you have a kid.
But that's just for future. I'm not.
It's a joke,
people. Planning,
come on.
I'm not planning on having kids now, but just in the future, I want them to really explore, all the different types of sports, because for me, sports is very essential. Especially.
Yeah, it is very essential. It's our sports and exercise are our compensations.
Yeah.
It is really our compensations for the increase of technology that we have.
Yeah.
Because I mean, before, I don't know what age, but when we were all cavemen, when we needed to hunt for food or gather, we needed to move.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? We gotta.
If you're not moving, you're gonna die.
Yeah, if you're not moving, you're gonna die. Right? The best thing about the human species is that they're gonna make things easier. Like basically, how we can think. Like we're gonna be able to like create technology that makes our life easier.
Yeah.
In the hopes that it would increase like longevity. What happens then is there are going to be some sacrifices for that, and one of the sacrifices that we have is our physical health, like our ability to move and move. Now we have this man-made structure called exercise, and that's basically our payment for not being able to move as well as before.
For sure, like our ancestors who were still hunting and all that, like, no exercise, but it's because of their daily activities, like hunting.
Yeah, before you don't need exercise because that's your daily
activity. You gotta
activity.
move, because or else you're gonna die.
Right.
So really, it was built into their daily.
Yeah, it really is. Like it's such a bad thing.
Not to move.
Yeah. Like if you're meant to move, you are supposed to move.
Yeah.
Like if you're perfectly healthy, that's why when I was talking about how it was, what mindset was, it's like I was gifted good genes. I didn't have like any anatomical anomalies or restrictions, and here I am just sitting down.
Yeah.
So that was like I was guilty for some reason, and I'm like, maybe I'll try to be a little bit more healthy since I have healthy genes.
Do you think that has changed also right after the pandemic? Like,
I hope so.
Like after the pandemic, I'm pretty sure everyone was like, okay, I think
everyone tried. Everyone
tried.
Was doing like a home workout for some reason, but I'm not sure what it was or why they did that. Maybe it was out of boredom, or I have more free time now, or if you're doing that because you want your health to be on top,
Yeah.
then great.
Yeah.
You got vaccinated, great.
Great. So yeah, like I noticed that after the pandemic, everyone was like, everyone's interested in fitness. So
Yeah, like a lot of people are like, oh, you gotta be healthy
Healthier.
and all that, because like you were supposed to be doing that before before the pandemic.
Before the pandemic, but like nothing personal.
No, nothing personal.
Nothing personal. It's just what we really believe in. And
Yeah.
for me, like exercise or taking care of yourself is really like the number one medicine.
Yeah, it is like preventive. It's very preventive. 30 minutes of, according to, who is that doctor? I forgot her name, but
okay, doctor.
anyways, I mean, I'm pretty sure you can all like PubMed this or like research it on Google Scholar. But at the very least, 30 minutes of aerobic exercise can already be beneficial. And there are permanent benefits to it. Better cardiovascular health, better muscular health, even better bone density and bone health.
Yeah. When people always ask me like, how do I get started in fitness and all that? I'm too tired and I don't want just walk. Walk for 30 minutes or walk for 10 minutes.
Yes. It can be very simple.
Can you imagine like before our ancestors who didn't have cars or any transportation, they just walk from
one end of the world to
miles, right? So
yeah.
You see how, and they didn't have any shoes. They were just wearing slippers or even just barefoot.
Yeah, while avoiding every other creature that there
trying
to kill them.
Right. So it really is movement is really essential.
Yeah, movement is really essential for me. Like it should be essential for people. Yeah. And so anyway, going back to
sorry, we got sidetracked, but let's go back to mobility. So again, what are some of the benefits for people who are interested or people have no knowledge in mobility practice, but like for example, you mentioned the day-to-day activities. Like how can mobility practice help those people in their daily activities?
Right. So mobility and mobility training. I want to talk first about like what it's sort of not. Yeah. Because there's a lot of misconceptions to it.
Yeah, what are the common misconceptions when it comes to
like moving
mobility?
Like you just gotta move. Like that's true though. That is like at the very least you need to move.
Yeah.
Right. It's a lot better than sedentary one. But when it comes to mobility training, it's not just moving around randomly. Yeah. Like there is supposed to be a purpose. Like you gotta increase your shoulders, internal, external rotation.
Show them what is internal, external.
Like so basically, this is the shoulder joint. Your internal rotation is here, as it's when, and your external rotation is on the other side.
Yeah.
So there's that. So there is supposed to be a purpose, and you need to explore the end ranges of those motions. So your shoulder have like 6 degrees. You have your flexion, extension, adduction, abduction, external and internal rotation. You gotta explore the end ranges of all those things. In fact, joint strengthening as well. Specifically joints or the connective tissue that surrounds the joint.
Like, can you give an example?
Let's see. Okay.
Just a basic one for the viewers.
The ones that I would always have an example for is always the knee.
Knee, of course.
Yeah, because a lot of it's very common that people will say I have pain in my knees when I'm walking, when I'm squatting, when I'm doing some kind of activity that requires a knee, and then they would say like, "Oh, I saw this thing on TikTok." Or I saw this thing.
TikTok again.
I saw this thing, and then they would say that I would need to strengthen my knees this way by doing a tibia raise. I think it was a tibia raise. What else were there?
Knees over toes.
Knees over toes. Yeah, that's one. Knees over toes. Spanish squats.
Yeah,
I think it's Spanish squats. And then I'm like, yes, that would help relieve the pain. actually it helps the muscles around the knees, but not the tissue that is around the knee, your connective tissue. You're not looking into the capsular function of the knee joint, which is all the time, well, a lot of the times, which is rotation. So some people are like doing your tibia raises, which is a very linear kind of movement. But your knee is supposed to move in 4 different directions: external rotation, internal rotation, extension, and flexion. And you gotta explore those first to see if all of them are functioning right. Like if you can externally rotate your knee, and if you can internally rotate your knee.
Yeah.
And then you can move in those directions. And then you can like probably incorporate some knee strengthening exercises, or rather the muscles around your knee would be strengthened to protect your knee, but not that all the time. Strengthen the joints.
Yeah.
Because you have to do different exercises for it.
Yeah.
And it's not all the time contracting the red tissue, or like your muscular tissue. It's more of your connective tissue.
So yeah, like even for me, like when it comes to mobility training, like honestly, the first thing when I tried it, I was like, why do people find it boring? Like,
It is boring.
because for me, like at first, I'm like, it's just so boring. Like, I'm just like doing this.
Yes.
You know, like
It's not a sexy exercise.
it's not. Yeah, that's why. Guys.
It's not like your 100 kilo squats or your muscle ups. It's not a sexy exercise at all.
Yeah.
But that's the point. Like it's not supposed to be a sexy exercise. But what's sexy is like you're living pain-free outside.
That's true.
Like yes, it's going to be boring here, but at least it's boring here and not out there.
Yeah,
you can actually do more out there, outside the gym, if you do your mobility training. And mobility training is, or mobility rather, is it's a prerequisite. Like you cannot do an overhead shoulder press if you do not have a good overhead flexion in the shoulder, which is like this. If you cannot put your bicep close to your ear, then please do not do anything overhead.
Can't do it.
Because like if you are going to, let's say for example, if you're going to try and press something and then it's here, what happens there is just going to give you a bad shoulder.
Yeah.
Because all gravity is doing is just that.
Pushing it.
Unlike if you're really stacked up here from your hand, elbow, shoulder, your torso, your hip, your knee, and then your ankle down to your toes. It's all stacked up in the straight line down to the ground. So it's not, you're training your muscle rather than your joints bearing the weight of all that thing that you carry.
Yeah, that's true.
And a lot of the times when people don't have proper mobility is where a lot of injury can happen, because if you don't have proper mobility, you don't know the weight-bearing capacity of your joints.
Yeah, that's true.
And if it goes over that, which is what you don't know as well, injury happens.
Yeah.
And then what do we do again? Like we go into rehab.
Yeah.
And you give my colleagues, my physiotherapist friends money. And then in turn that they send you to me after your rehab.
Actually, for me, I'm also like, I'm honestly like, I'm not so, familiar with all this stuff, like,
because it's fairly new.
It's fairly new.
Yeah, it is fairly new.
But what's a typical, how do you say this, like a typical program, or what's a typical routine that anyone can do just for, the mobility?
We call it controlled articular rotation. So
I think you've told me.
Yeah. So it's not just in the shoulder, but it's in every joint.
Yeah.
You can find this on YouTube anywhere. Like you can search up full body CARS or full body controlled articular rotations. And then you'll find that it's only about less than 20 minutes that you can do after you wake up or before you go to sleep. So yeah, I mean, what happens there is that in the controlled articular rotation is that you're going through each and every degree of motion you have at the end ranges of it.
like let's say for example, so let's show them like what's
So
an example?
what an example would be, well, the best example could be your shoulder.
Yes, number one.
So the number one is like your shoulder. I'll just do it sitting. So you have your first one, which is your flexion and adduction. So it's gonna go across the midline, and then you're gonna go into overhead flexion. From here, you're gonna get stuck. So what happens there is you're going to externally rotate, which is another degree of motion of the shoulder. So that you can move more coming back into like all the way and
External.
yeah, external rotation and flexion. So you're now here at the end range, or rather at the end of that rotation. You can't move further. So what you're going to do is you're going to reverse. And then there you can explore another degree of motion, which is your shoulder extension. From here, you're going to get stuck again. And basically, when you get stuck, that's your end range, which later on we can increase. And then from here, you're going to internally rotate your shoulder so it can go all the way back up into your overhead flexion.
Mm.
And then from there, you're just going to do your adduction.
Reverse
and
again.
then reverse. So you can go all the way from, that explores all ranges.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, you gave me that exercise.
Yeah, I do. Like
I
it
had
helps.
like really bad, I had bad shoulder pain, so he taught me that. It really helped actually. Like I was like, how come is it like when I do that, I hear like clicking.
You hear clicking.
Those are the joints, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's also the joint. It could also be crepitus, which is like your, like, you know, bone cracking.
But that's not like dangerous, right?
It's not. It's not dangerous as long as you don't have
Pain.
Pinching pains in closing angles. Then it's okay. And even if you do, you just need to, you then know your limit. Like if you say that your overhead flexion is about, let's say 80 degrees, and if you move further, something is going to happen, like it's going to be pinching pain, then you don't need to move past 80 degrees. You just need, you're just there, and then you go to the different degrees of motion again. It's gonna get better at the more you do it.
Okay, so now that we have the mobility practice, how long does it usually take to see improvements in your mobility? You know, like sometimes, you know, as fitness practitioner, I'm pretty sure everyone they tend to get discouraged when they don't see
when you don't see
fast.
improvement.
So, you know, now everybody wants the improvements fast, and I know it's not like that.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can be stubborn. So, how long does it usually take for you to see some improvements? I'm sure it depends on their consistency also.
Yeah, it depends on the consistency of the person. It depends on what the starting point is. Because some people are very mobile. Like, for example, dancers.
Yeah,
and then they go into like my mobility training, and I'm like just surprised like how much they have, like how much range they have in different areas of their of their bodies.
Let's say like a sedentary person.
A sedentary person would probably benefit, I don't know, give or take 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I would always say that the benefits are only as good as your consistency.
Sure.
Because again, like in mobility, if you don't use it, you lose it.
So now that we have the mobility training, yes, you talked already about the benefits and all that. Now, how does one fit that mobility training into their practice? Let's say, for example, me, you know, I do boxing, I do kickboxing, or I do jiu-jitsu. So how do I fit in the mobility training into my routine? Like, do I do it before? Do I do it after? Or do I really have to have like a separate day for that?
Well, that depends on your goal. Let's say you just want to keep your range, or like you just want to make sure that you're not losing any of the range of motion that you have. So you can probably do it every day before, like right after you wake up.
Yeah.
Or because training is different.
Yeah.
So there are maintaining exercises like your morning routines for articulations, and then articular rotations, and then there are also some training in mobility that let's say will increase your external rotation or increase internal rotation. Make sure that they have good load bearing capacity in, let's say, a 45-degree range. So that would really depend. How you can incorporate it, I guess, would be just do, well, the most basic is do the rotations. You don't have to do it during training, but you have to do it sometime in the day. Because it's that's how you can like make sure that you don't lose any of those range of motions, especially when it comes to the injuries. So if you have injuries and then you'd say that, oh, you're going to be limited here. Yes, let's say you're going to be limited in certain ranges, and then if you don't move, then it's going to be limited more because you're now afraid to move into that direction, not just into that degree of motion. You're going to be afraid to, let's say, move your shoulder externally. A lot of the advice I can give, especially for people who are doing sports, like mobility is really important because you can't move if you can't move.
Yeah, that's true. But because for me, like really, sometimes I'm honestly like I'm like I gotta do this. Like, it can be a bit. Sometimes you forget about it.
Yeah.
All that. So
I'm not exempted to that. Like there are sometimes I just forget. Or sometimes I'm a little too tired of doing this.
Just want to get the workout done.
Like I just want to get, and it's okay as long as it doesn't have to be set in stone. You gotta do this every day, or else you gonna die.
Yeah.
But no, you can like skip a day or two, but like as long as you somehow put it within the week.
Yeah.
But not just once, please. Like I said, if you don't use it, you lose it. So maybe once or twice, even if it's just like one rep.
Yeah.
That's good enough. If you want to really get into it, like you can do 8. In fact, you can quit your job and just do mobility training 24 hours. Do it. I want to see that. I want to know somebody who wants to do this like 8 hours a day.
Gonna be freaking mobile.
Like this person wants to go back to the caveman days.
Because actually there was really we're gonna sidetrack, but actually there was really a study. I mean, like I've seen videos on that where people lived or stayed with these tribes in Africa and all that, and they said like, dude, these guys are freaking like machines.
Yeah, they are machines. Like their environment causes them to move in that way for them to survive.
Yeah, it's true.
Like I've seen some of those videos where you talk about like where your plyometric exercise is just like candy to them. And like, that's how much you can jump.
That's true. So like, for example, like let's say I know you're dealing with different clients also. Like, what do you notice? Like, do you notice like a specific sport? Let's say, for example, basketball. It involves a lot of jumping, right? Explosive movement. Do you notice like most basketball players have a common issue in terms of mobility? Knees, right?
It's always knees. Like it's either knees or, well, for basketball is a lot of the times are knees and ankles.
Yeah, that's true.
So because there's a lot of running, there's a lot of jumping, and there's a lot of like high impact activities. Other sports, jiu-jitsu and MMA, shoulder. A lot of the times, I know it's everything, but a lot of the complaints are coming from shoulders. Some of them are hips, neck. Yeah, definitely neck.
Actually,
But yeah, there's a lot of different. When it comes to MMA and jiu-jitsu, it's like there's just a lot that I have to work with. Older people is just a lot of the time it's always knees, like knees and low back pain.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's usually like how they walk, how they sit, and what they do as a daily activity.
Yeah.
And this is where mobility actually becomes very beneficial when it comes to the geriatric population. Athletes would have a different benefit from it.
So, different athletes, different types of people, different demographics. So
you got to be very versatile.
You have to be versatile, and you as a coach also you have to really be. You have to also really like study.
Yeah.
Or observe the client. Or, the patient to to really modify the exercises that can really benefit for them.
Yeah.
Let's give the viewers a treat. How do you fix lower back pain?
How do you fix
Simple solution.
Very simple
please.
solution.
Because my back, I'm like 25, but dude, my back already hurts. Like, holy shit.
Simple solution to low back pain. There's really no simple solution because there's no simple. It's not a simple problem because we don't know what is causing the low back pain. Really, like you gotta be specific to this. Like we don't know what's causing the low back pain. It could be because you have limited mobility on your hips. It could be scoliosis. It could be a sciatica nerve pinch that started from the lower back. I can't give anyone like a one-size-fits-all.
Yeah.
What I can ask everyone to do is to check your mobility ranges.
Yeah.
See if you are, if you can move into a certain range that is sort of allowable for you to be able to do different things. Check your posture. Check how you're sitting. Check how you're, what are your daily activities, and what are you doing to get your body moving and get your body healthy? You cannot just say supplements. Please do not say supplements.
No.
It's such a horrible thing when people say, it's like, I have bad joints because I did not take my glucosamine today.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you have bad joints because you don't.
You have bad joints.
Because you have bad joints. You don't move in a way that you're supposed to move. You don't have any way to train your joints as well. So I'm like, you don't know how to strengthen your joints.
Yeah.
So please don't say that. Like, I need to inject synovial fluid into my joints. Like,
well, but it really, of course, it does help.
It does help, yes. But like, I don't want it to be.
Yeah.
Because what happens here is that you become very reliant on the medicine because it's an instant relief.
Yeah.
Like if you want to be white glutathione, like there's that. But if you want to have better joints, train them and train them properly. Get a coach. I'm the only one in Visayas and Mindanao. I'm not kidding. You can look it up. Yeah. I'm the only one doing this in Visayas, Mindanao. You can get me. I give free advice too.
I'm gonna tag his socials, so if you're interested in this practice, you can try it out. When you were learning this, all of this mobility training and exercise, like who are some of the people that you looked up to? Like for example, for me, I check out YouTube. You know, sometimes in YouTube, it's a big spectrum of content creators. So really, for me, sometimes I don't agree with this one.
Yeah. So
who are some of the
people that I look up to when it comes to mobility was immediately guys, the one that created it.
Write it down, okay? Write it down.
Yeah. So the one that created the functional anatomy seminars and my certifier is Dr. Andreo Espina.
Andreo Espina.
Yeah. So
you can find him on YouTube.
Yeah, you can find him on YouTube. You can find him on IG, Facebook, and whatnot. Another one is Hunter Cook. If ever Hunter is like listening to this, hey.
Hunter Cook, guys.
Please. His IG is Hunter Fitness, I think. Yeah. Herb Dewey, another person that was also the person that was certified or that conducted the seminar. Christina Gonzalez. These are not all content creators. These are the doctors. The one content creator that I really do like, Beard, as in like Beard, the best you can be.
Beard, the best you can be.
Yeah.
Okay,
you can find him. His name is Amir. But yeah, he's one guy that I really look up to when it comes to mobility. He has really good content as well. He breaks down every movement,
step by step, and
cars.
Detailed.
Yeah, very detailed movements, and he explains very well too. And some of his contents are actually funny, like how if we live how we train.
Yeah.
So we don't live how we train.
Yeah, that's true.
We don't deadlift a box, right? So yeah, those are a few people that I really look up to when it comes to mobility training.
Yeah. Coach Thomas already mentioned, so if you're interested in your mobility training or if you want to start your mobility training, check out those guys on YouTube or just research them on Google. Of course, I'm sure they're going to come out. So for the beginners out there, if you have any last words for them,
Yeah.
like how to start your mobility training, how to connect with you and all that.
To start mobility training, personally, I would like you to like just DM me in my page.
Mm-mm.
Like I would tell you all the things that you might need, and it's all for free.
That's right.
Right. Second is if you really want to do your mobility training, do your research first.
Yeah.
Really research as much as you can. Look into YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I don't know where you want to get it, but just study up a little bit. If you find somebody that you like, you can ask about it. I do encourage you to ask people, especially the ones that really knows their stuff.
Yeah.
Those people that I mentioned, they will reply to you one way or another. Or like if all else fails, you can come to me. Like,
And he's here in Cebu, so
yeah, I'm here in Cebu. You can always find me in F45.
F45. Oh, where do you usually do your classes?
My mobility classes, Bliss Yoga Studio in Escario. I have mobility classes there, and I do my kin stretch classes there as well. But yeah, I schedule a lot of kin stretch classes around Cebu. There's going to be a lot more, and I'm hoping to go to Manila as well, and so hopefully that they're more accepting.
Mm-mm.
I don't know if there's any other
coach.
Yeah, instructor. I know that there are a lot of mobility specialists in Manila. There are like about 14, I think.
That's a lot.
And
you're the only one here.
I'm the only one in Cebu, Visayas, Mindanao. I tried looking it up. I'm like,
no,
come on,
nothing.
There's got to be at least one. But no. But so I hope that mobility can inspire you, because we do need a lot more of that. There's so much importance when it comes to mobility. Like you really need to first establish your mobility training, or like your mobility goals first before you go into a specific kind of training, because you're going to be able to do a lot more once your mobility is intact. Like you can't, if your shoulder is bad, then don't expect to do a lot of exercises that involve shoulders, which is almost everything. Your push-ups, your chest press, your pull-ups, your barbell rows, shoulder presses, anything that uses a shoulder is going to be bad. And you're just gonna get more pain if you don't fix your range of motion, or you don't fix your mobility, or you don't fix your joint. And
research, guys, study, and contact Coach Thomas. He's available on Instagram, Facebook, Bliss Yoga at Escario. So if you're interested in joining his mobility class,
yes, please,
you can check it out. He can assess you there, give you the specific exercises that you need, and all that.
Yep.
Okay. So thank you so much, bro. Thank you so much for coming,
and
thank you so much for educating the viewers about mobility. Again, I'm gonna tag your social, so if you're interested, just give him a message, and
yes, please,
he will message you back. Thank you guys so much, and thank you again, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.